Have you ever felt like you're living a life that doesn't belong to you? Like there's something ancient, deep, buried inside you, calling out to be remembered? What if I told you, that feeling isn't madness? It's a message. The truth is, you're not lost. You were programmed to forget who you are. We wake up stuck in a mechanical routine, putting out fires while that quiet existential emptiness grows stronger. Work. Bills. Repeat. Smile on the outside, slowly fading on the inside. But what if that sense of disconnection isn't the problem? What if it's the sign? A signal your soul is trying to wake up? There's a veil over your awareness. So finely woven, most people don't even realize it's there. What you're about to discover isn't taught in schools. It's not in self-help books or the latest Netflix doc. These are ancient teachings, passed down in secret, buried for generations by those who knew. When a soul remembers who it is, it becomes free. In the next few minutes, you'll learn to read the signs, unlock techniques that actually work, and awaken the sacred ritual that reactivates your soul memory. So get ready. Because this isn't just knowledge, it's a reminder. A soul calling. A reunion with the part of you that never really left. After this, you won't see the world the same way. And you'll finally understand why you've always felt there was more. From the moment we're born, they start telling us who we should be. Sit up straight. Speak only when spoken to. That's not how boys act. Harmless on the surface, but every phrase lays another brick in the wall that slowly separates us from our essence. School came next. Obey, memorize, repeat. No one ever taught us how to listen to our soul, only how to fit into a mold that was never truly ours. Then came the media. A tsunami of expectations, what to wear, how to talk, who to be. If you didn't fit the script, you were labeled too weird, too sensitive, too much. But what if the problem was never you? What if the system itself was built to disconnect you from your truth? Because conscious people aren't easy to control. They question. They feel. They create. And that terrifies the system. Look around you. How many adults do you know who are just surviving? Wake up. Work. Sleep. Repeat. Most of them can't even remember what lit them up as kids. That disconnection isn't a coincidence. It was designed. They had to erase your soul's memory, so you'd become just another functional cog. The truth? You were lied to. And if you're starting to feel that, it means you're starting to wake up. There's a group, quiet, growing, wide awake. People who felt different their whole lives. The ones who look up at the sky and just know. There's more to life than paychecks and pressure. And maybe, if you're still here listening, you're one of them. Maybe something inside you never fully gave in. And guess what? That's not weakness. That's your soul, remembering. And even with all the programming, the soul finds ways to whisper. A strange dream. A sudden crisis. A number that keeps showing up. Tiny signs, like spiritual passwords, trying to snap you out of the collective trance. But why do these signs show up stronger at certain moments? Well, that's where things start to get really interesting. You know that dream that keeps coming back? The one that feels more like a memory than a fantasy, like there's something in it you're supposed to understand? Or that number that follows you around, on the clock, on receipts, license plates, phone numbers? That's not random. The soul speaks in symbols. And when the noise of the world gets too loud, it starts using patterns to break through. Of course, no one ever taught you how to listen. In fact, they told you it was all in your head. Sometimes it's this strange, unshakable feeling that you just don't belong. You're at the dinner table, at work, surrounded by people, and still, deep down, you feel like an outsider in your own life. What if I told you that feeling is a clue? What if the disconnect isn't because something's wrong with you, but because your soul remembers something greater than this life? That not fitting in means you were never meant to. Existential crises. They're terrifying. But what if they're actually invitations? Think about it, that moment when you say, I can't do this anymore, that might be the very moment your soul is trying to crack the shell. It happened to me. Years ago, everything fell apart: relationships, career, my own mental health. But right in the middle of the chaos, I heard the signs. And from that point on, nothing was ever the same. Synchronicities are like cosmic nudges. You think of someone, and they call. You mention something random, and it shows up in the next video you see. The rational mind calls it coincidence. But the soul? It knows better. These are signals. You can start tuning in today. Write down your recurring dreams. Keep track of the numbers you see, the random moments that make your heart race. That's your inner compass, starting to flicker back on. And here's the thing, these signs aren't just tricks of the mind. They're glimpses of something ancient. A kind of spiritual memory buried deep inside, waiting to be activated. And long before modern psychology or life coaches came along, there were civilizations who understood exactly how to do just that. Before the world was ruled by algorithms, there was wisdom. Real wisdom. Passed down slowly, intentionally, from master to disciple. No rush, no hashtags, no branding. Civilizations like the Egyptians, the Hindus, the Tibetan monks, the Amazonian shamans. They knew something we've forgotten. That human beings are souls first. And remembering the soul wasn't spiritual fluff. It was sacred science. Take yoga. It didn't start as an Instagram pose. It was, and still is, a spiritual technology. Every movement, every breath, every pause was a step toward awakening. Just like Tibetan meditation. Just like the astral rituals of shamans. Just like the alchemy of the ancients, which was never about turning lead into gold. It was about turning ignorance into awareness. These ancient traditions understood something science is only starting to rediscover. The soul carries memories from beyond this lifetime. In this life, it's not a beginning. It's a chance to remember. But that remembrance doesn't come through thinking, it comes through practice. Want to begin? Start with Kundalini meditation. Explore Tantric yoga. Read the Kybalion, a timeless book that holds the Hermetic principles. Simple tools, older than history, yet powerful beyond measure. Today, people call this knowledge hidden. But the truth is, it was hidden on purpose. For centuries, it was silenced by those who feared what awakened souls might do. Because a soul that remembers doesn't need saving. It doesn't bow to fear. It doesn't play by rules meant to keep it small. It creates. It loves. It lives with purpose. And in a world built on control, true wisdom has always been the most dangerous currency. But these practices? They didn't disappear. They just changed form. And now they show up in your dreams. In your gut feelings. In the signs that won't leave you alone. Especially, in the codes the universe keeps sending your way. Have you noticed how often you catch the clock at 11:11? Or how 222 or 333 keep showing up, on license plates, receipts, even bus numbers? These patterns? They're not random. They're codes. Your soul uses these numbers to tap you on the shoulder and whisper, "Hey, you're on the right path." And once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. These numbers are like spiritual software. 1111 is a portal, an invitation to awaken. 222 speaks of emotional alignment. 333 means your guides are near. And the wildest part? Each soul has its own codes. They appear in birth dates, names you keep hearing, places that call to you without explanation. It's not just coincidence, it's frequency. Imagine the universe as a living language. And when you learn how to read it, you start to decode your life. Want to begin? Write down the numbers that keep showing up. Use tools like numerology apps. Study the meanings behind master numbers. You don't need to be spiritual to start, you just need curiosity and presence. These patterns work like the GPS of the soul. They show up when you're about to make a big decision, or when you're stuck in a loop. Personally, I always saw 555 right before massive shifts. New job. End of a toxic relationship. A leap into the unknown. That number meant, what you seek is on the other side of fear. And recognizing that saved me from choices I would have deeply regretted. And here's the twist, this isn't just mysticism. It's tied to quantum physics. To vibration. To measurable frequencies. There's a kind of spiritual technology at play. And when you start tuning into it, you begin to access memories that don't belong to this world. And that's exactly what the next ritual is designed to awaken. There's an ancient ritual, passed down quietly, from master to student. Never taught in schools. And maybe that's exactly why it still holds so much power. It doesn't involve exotic candles or empty promises. It's simple. Direct. Almost silent. But when done with full presence, it awakens something inside you that's always been there. It's like turning a rusted key in a door you didn't know existed. Step 1 is your breath. The 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Do this for 4 rounds. Sounds easy, right? But it calms your nervous system, shuts off the autopilot, and opens the body to receive what the soul already knows. Think of it as clearing the antenna before tuning into higher frequencies. Try it for 3 nights in a row. Then, pay attention to your dreams. Next comes the mantra, So Sata Nama. Each syllable holds meaning, birth, life, death, rebirth. Repeat it mentally while tapping your thumb to each fingertip, index, middle, ring, pinky. This activates energy points linked to higher consciousness. And before you dismiss it as too mystical, know that even neuroscientists are beginning to study its effects on the brain. This isn't blind belief. It's soul science. Then comes the sacred question. Who am I really? Ask it, not with your mind, but with your heart. Ask it in silence. And wait. Because the answer doesn't come in words. Sometimes it shows up in a shiver. Sometimes in tears you didn't expect. Sometimes, in a dream that very night. Ask for 7 nights. Watch what unfolds. This ritual isn't a trick. It's a return. A remembering. Taught in ancient temples, hidden tribes, forgotten manuscripts. And now, it's here. In your hands. Because the time to awaken isn't someday. It's now. Because once you remember who you are, there's no going back. The truth is, your soul never forgot. It was only waiting. Waiting for the right moment to be remembered. And now that you've received these teachings, you can't go back to who you were. Because something inside you has shifted. You feel it, don't you? That spark. That fire. And once it's lit, it doesn't go out. So now, the question is, what will you do with this? Will you ignore the signs? Or will you finally start living through the eyes of your soul? Will you keep running on autopilot? Or step fully into the journey of becoming who you've always been? Apply what you've learned. Start with the breath. Do the ritual. Watch the signs. And above all else, trust what your intuition has been whispering this whole time. You didn't find this message by accident. And if you've made it this far, something much greater is waking up inside you. So tell me in the comments, what part of this message stirred something in you? What signs or codes have been showing up in your life lately? I want to know. And if this resonated with you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, tap the bell, and share this with someone who needs to remember. Because the awakening of your soul might just be the beginning of someone else's too.